but I hope you can help me.
We've had a really fun time chatting so far, and we're going to chat some more, but this time with you guys with us. We've been talking about beauty trends, and we've been talking about
my lack of them.
It's okay, that's my job. You don't have to know anything. So, you have a really beautiful warm undertone, and I want to highlight that in your skin. I'm going to do something called underpainting, or in this term we're going to use under bronzing, where I'm going to take some of this face and body bronzer. I'm going to pump a little bit onto my hand and let it warm up, let the skin do its business. I did sanitize, I just sanitized. Always sanitize, very important. And I'm gonna take a nice like angled fluffy brush and I'm gonna tap into that product on the back of my hand. And I'm gonna go in an E shape along Gay's face here. So right here, the top of the E, the middle of the E. And then we're gonna go down through the jawline here. You see how we have this really hard kind of E shape or 3 shape on the face right here? We're seeing kind of the under bronzing happening or contouring. She has a warm undertone, so I like to keep it kind of bronzy. We're gonna soften this up now by taking a little bit of a tinted moisturizer or a lightweight foundation and kind of just go all over the face. You don't have to be too careful about it, but what it's gonna do is it's gonna soften some of these transitions, but we're still gonna have a nice bronzy glow. I love these little plates. You don't have to have a lot of fancy stuff though. You can use a small dish and the back of your makeup brush to mix. I have just used a foundation and a bit of serum to create a tinted moisturizer. That's what the industry doesn't want you to do. And see how, just by filling in, kind of haphazardly, not using a lot of technique in this process, you don't have to be careful because it's just helping smooth the transition. And feel free to go over top of where you have bronzed. So now she has
one side of the face.
A sunny glow on one side. It's very subtle, that's the point, that's what we're going for here. But we've just added a little bit more chisel and a little bit more warmth. And if at any point you're like, oh no, I need a little bit more bronze, you just go back in and you bronze her up a little bit more. And I like this product, this face and body bronzer, because it's both kind of a skin prep as well as a makeup product. You can use it before, during, after. It's not really disturbing much. It's not causing the foundation to move. You can see the lift in this side of her face immediately.
Who doesn't love it?
Not a single person.
I look like
Look straight for us.
I got 1 million of them.
Okay,
That's
great.
how old I am. So I was living in a place called Little Five Points, and I looked out my window one day, and there was a man headed with a shotgun to the back. The house behind me was full of drug dealers. So I did what any sensible woman would do. I went into the bathroom, shut the door, and got to the bathtub. I just like hovered in there for the next 2 days until I knew he was gone. And then I came out and picked up the landline and called the police. And then the police showed up and they arrested him. And I'm driving down the street and I hear, Gay von Habner, Gay von Habner. I'm the world's worst driver. So it could have been any of 100 things where I was so scared, like, ah! And I get all petrified and I pull over and it's the same policeman who came and he was very handsome and he asked me out on a date. And I went out on a date with a very handsome policeman.
A little spooky. I can see your worry there.
The weird thing about this guy, he had no sense of humor at all. It was ridiculous. Like, he didn't know if I was kidding. He didn't know if he was kidding. You know, he could make a joke. It was to the point of insanity. So it was so hard to have a conversation with somebody when there's not even a smile or anything. I'd never encountered anybody like that before. So that was a little freaky. I mean, that was the funniest thing he did, was pulling me over. It was weird.
Not a lot of personality, and you have a lot of personality.
Weird. It was weird, yeah. He also thought everybody was guilty of something.
That's
What are
a
you
tough
guilty
one.
of?
Ooh, not enough.
Being too much fun.
Not enough. I'm just getting started. This is fantastic because I'll be able to watch a video and do this myself.
Yes, ma'am. Your eyes are blue or are they green?
Green, what?
Green. So, coral is for everyone. There is a shade of coral for every single person. Whenever someone has a light colored eye like this, she has a green eye, there's little hints of blue in there, I know I can see it. I feel like the sun is bringing out some beautiful dimensions. Across from the color wheel of blues and greens, right? Blue across the color wheel is orange. So by adding this coral blush, you can instantly see her eyes pop. Oh, this is Miami! Yeah.
One of my favorites. Yes.
Love Miami. And it looks like it would be too bright, right? This is the color light brown. We talked about this earlier, and we're going to talk about this call out again. If you have light colored hair, it's very likely that your eyebrows are also lightly colored. So they do not need to be black. They can just exist. So we're going to fill these puppies in just a little bit so we have a little bit more dimension to the face. Take a little spoolie, brush them out. You can use both a light brown or a blonde pencil depending on the day. I would say let your brows predict that. Some people have very white eyebrows. I would argue that the low lights in her hair match more of her eyebrows. So she has a little bit more of like a very, very light brown. And we could do a blonde too, but I just wanted to make them a little bit more prominent. I would also argue that you can have both. Oh, yeah, look at you, you got a brow.
Hey.
We're gonna do a little bit of lining. This is the color Spice. She has a really beautiful light pink tone to her lips. However, because we went in this like bronzy, corally direction, I kind of want to bring that bronze to the lip as well. I'm just gonna line very lightly. I'll fill in a bit. And then we're gonna take a little bit of our lip oil. This is the color Unbutton. It's a little bit of a mocha. Yeah, we're keeping it with that bronzy kind of feel, but it'll still capture her natural lip color. How's this feel on the lips?
So this is a funny dating story. When I was in college and we were all kind of starving to death, I got asked out on a date and I was thrilled. Mostly because it meant somebody else was paying for the meal. And my date said to me, after we looked at the menu and my mouth was watering, I'm like, oh boy, and I'm going to take half of what I'm ordering home to my roommate. And he said, I'm just having a grilled cheese sandwich. What are you just having? Which kind of took the air out of the room. I did not go out with him again. I'm not subtle, but my foundation is. Get rid of all those brown spots.
They're gonna be gone today, honey.
Great. So I wasn't asked out on very many dates, hard to believe, I know. And my mom and my dad were off at some dental convention somewhere. And I got asked to the movies, and I was young, I think I was 15. And I was so excited because I knew that if my mom were around, there was no way she'd let me go to the movies. So that's not my taste, my terrible taste. I love these pants. I had elephant bells that were so big that it was ridiculous. And when my date saw them after I snuck out into the movies, he said, are you wearing 2 skirts? That's how bad they were. It was a double feature. It was a James Bond double feature. And he reached over and he held my hand, which I was so excited about. My whole arm is going numb and clammy, and all I want is for him to let go. All through Goldfinger, which is embarrassing enough, that's how young I am, they didn't care. And Dr. No. And I got the dead arm here. And he ghosted me after all that. I don't know whether it was the 2 skirts or the clamminess of my arm. Maybe both. He just couldn't take it. He shall go unnamed.
I'm about to give you all of